Rams cornerback situation is iffy. Remarkably, Marcus Peters may play. If Marcus Peters can play, I like the Rams. If you watch the injury, I have no idea how Marcus Peters can play. He could not put weight on his and he plays corner. Like, it's the most difficult position in football to play outside of quarterback is cornerback. He has to guard all these receivers, so he may play. That's a big bonus. By the way, speaking of playing, Jamal Adams is a tremendous player for the New York Jets. He's a safety. He's the best young safety in the NFL, Jamal Adams for the New York Jets. He was talking about Baker Mayfield this week. They lost, of course, had a 14-3 lead. Baker Mayfield comes in, leads the Browns over the Jets. He goes, we didn't see it happening. I'm just being honest. I didn't find out that Tyrod had a concussion until after the game. We were not prepared for Baker Mayfield. That's what he said on New York radio, WFAN. So last week, I did something I'd never done. I bet $1,000 on a regular season game, but I wouldn't tell you who it was. And then after the game was over, I unveiled in a suitcase who it was. Remember that? I put it in an envelope. I didn't tell you. I said, I'm going to wait till the game's over, and then I'm going to show you the suitcase. And I had bet Cleveland. I didn't know Baker was going to play. But I had bet Cleveland -3 against the Jets because Sam Darnold was playing his third game in 11 nights on the road against a really good defense, and the Jets have the worst O-line in the league and no weapons. My takeaway was Darnold's going to struggle. They're not going to get in the end zone. They're going to lose like 21, 24-6. It'll be a blowout. Ended up being close, but I won the bet. And I thought to myself, I'm going to double down on it. And I'm just going to take the $1,000 I won. But this week, I think we have the convergence of two things. We're getting ahead of ourselves on Baker. The story of Baker is better than the player Baker. First of all, Cleveland has not won a road game since week 3 of 2015. They've lost 22 straight road games. And Oakland, they're going to go to Oakland. Oakland, by the way, is top 10 in passing, top 6 total offense, top 10 in third down. And by the way, they've led every game going into the fourth quarter. Now they're at home, and Derek Carr's way better right now than Baker Mayfield. I think we're making a big mistake. So the line is Oakland -2.5. They're a 2.5-point favorite against Cleveland. It is my $1,000 bet of the week. I'm going to put it in here. I'm going to bet Oakland that they're going to win by a field goal or more. And to celebrate the occasion, hold on one second here. To celebrate the occasion, I have created... I took the...
oh, how nice.
Yeah, it's called my Baker Money Maker. It's no longer the mystery. It's no longer the mystery suitcase. It's the Baker Money Maker bet of the week. So I'm going to put this in here, Joy, with you as my witness.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm going to put this bet inside here.
For safekeeping. For
safekeeping. So I have $1,000 I'm betting against Baker Moneymaker this week. Okay, so, and by the way, it's going to be part of my Blazing 5. This will be one of my 5 picks. I get this number -2.5. I've never done that before either. I don't care if the number changes. That number, Raiders win by 10 or more. I'm very excited. Joy Taylor with the news.
No. Turn on the news. This is the Herdline News.
All right, lots to talk about the Patriots struggling this week. Everyone knows that Rob Gronkowski is Tom Brady's best weapon right now. The Lions certainly knew it Sunday night, and despite this, Gronk still caught 4 passes for 51 yards on 5 targets in the Patriots' loss, and all 3 were team highs, which is a problem Brady spoke on during his weekly radio appearance.
It's really been, 3 weeks in a row where he's gotten the majority of the coverage focused on him. If I was a defensive coach, I'd be focusing my attention on him too. So it just comes down to us getting him out of that by getting the ball in other parts of the field, different areas, and we just have failed to do that. First week, he made some plays in double coverage, and last week he certainly had double coverage. And, if Gronk's going to get coverage, it gives other players opportunities, and at certain times we've done a good job with that, and then last night I just didn't think we did a good job with it at all.
Well, that's kind of the issue, right? Like, Gronk is going to get doubled because he is their best and number 1 target right now, which leaves the other receivers in one-on-one situations, except for those other receivers need to catch the ball and do their job. So I don't know though. I don't know that Edelman coming back is really going to make that much of an impact. I mean, it's not like he's coming back and he's going to be at 100%.
They'll increase the efficiency. He's a legitimate target. But my takeaway is, again, I'm not saying they're a bad team. they obviously have the coach, the quarterback, and the special teams and the division to win a division, get a bye. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying if you turn the sound down and watch football, the truth comes out. You don't have bias or narratives from announcers. You don't hear the home crowd. They just don't look special to me. And Detroit did what you should do. 8 in the box, double Gronk, beat us upfield, see what you can do. And they can't. They just don't. Josh Gordon could change all that, by the way. If Josh Gordon gets his act together personally, he could change all that.
Right.
I just don't trust that happening.
Yeah, I'm not ready to bail on the Patriots just yet either. I've been burned by that before, that decision before. But they do have some issues that they need to work out, and Josh Gordon will be very interesting if he can get out there.
Yeah.
So as the Raiders sit in the basement of the AFC West, John Gruden believes there's plenty of blame to go around, and he's not afraid to call his players out, including his most important one. Now, 2 weeks ago, he said that Derek Carr wasn't aggressive enough against the Rams, and now he is giving the opposite advice.
I thought we were too aggressive. I think at times he's trying too hard. We'll talk about that extensively here in the next couple hours, but I thought he played really good under some very tough circumstances. I think sometimes he needs to learn a little bit more patience, and I think he will.
Again, he's talking too much. I can't complain, though. He keeps giving us great quotes, so I can't bang on him for that. These coaches, Mike Tomlin and Gruden, are giving us great quotes every day. I can't bang on them for that. This is what we want, right? You and I need quotes.
I mean, yes, you and I need quotes, but I think if you're a Raiders fan, you're probably like,
Simmer down, button it up, don't talk, yeah.
Focus more on winning the games. Well, since he is giving opposite advice, I really don't know what exactly it is he wants from Derek Carr.
Yeah.
But they're in a bad spot.
I like them this week. I like the Raiders heavy this week. I believe it's the best bet on the board this week. I'll tell you right now, we usually wait to Blazing 5. My Blazing 5 has been red hot. We were 4-1 last week. We've won twice as many games as we lost. It's the hottest I've ever started, although I started pretty good last year. I think the Raiders is the best bet on the board this week. I honestly do.
They better get a win this week. So finally, the Steelers got their first win of the season on Monday night, and Roethlisberger had another great game, and the defense showed up for the first half. So there was a lot to talk about this week other than Le'Veon Bell, but Mike Tomlin was still asked about it, and he was not having it.
There were reports this weekend that the team was listening to offers for Le'Veon and be willing to listen to offers for Le'Veon. In your understanding, has there been any change in the mindset in the organization?
I'm not talking Le'Veon. I'm just not. There's nothing new to add.
I don't blame him for being frustrated at this point.
I wouldn't talk either. On Le'Veon Bell, I wouldn't talk. I will say it again. If I'm the Colts, they need weapons. If I'm the Jets, they need weapons. They both have. The Jets have a ton of cap space. This move makes so much sense for the Colts and the Jets. And by the way, both next year need the same thing: another tackle, another receiver, and another edge rusher. The Colts and the Jets are very similar situations. I think they both have the right coach, but they have got to get a stud weapon. And Le'Veon Bell had 85 catches. He's not just a great back.
Of course.
He'd be their best receiver in New York and their best back.
Of course. And especially for Sam Darnold, that would be
great,
huge. But I don't blame Mike Tomlin for not answering any questions about Le'Veon. First of all, there's nothing new to update on it. He's still not there and still not showing up anytime soon. So unless he wants to reveal what his plan for trading him is, there's really nothing to say. And they have enough to focus on in-house. So.
Joy with the news.
Well, that's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
A couple of things I want to talk about. I saw this quote yesterday that people are calling Jared Goff a system quarterback. Okay, just say this. There's a difference between a game manager and a system quarterback. And I'll give you the greatest example. A game manager is code for limited. You don't want to be called a game manager. A system quarterback is necessary to win a Super Bowl. Let me explain. Joe Montana played in something called the West Coast offense. That's the most copied system of offense in league history. Well, what about like Brett Favre? I mean, what about... I'm glad you mentioned Brett Favre. Brett Favre played for 20 years in the NFL. 7 years with Mike Holmgren. In the 7 years, Brett Favre, the great talent, the ad-libber, played with Mike Holmgren. He won all 3 MVPs and it was the only time he got to Super Bowls. In the 13 years that Brett Favre didn't have Mike Holmgren's system, no MVPs, no Super Bowl trips, and in 8 playoff games had a losing record. So there you go. Yes, Tom Brady's in a system. And by the way, Troy Aikman threw for over 20 touchdowns once because Jimmy Johnson had a great system. And Terry Bradshaw, 4 Super Bowl rings. You don't think Chuck Noll had a system? And I grew up watching a guy named Dan Fouts. His coach was Don Coryell. They called it Air Coryell. It was a system. Brett Favre, who we all think is the gunslinger, making it up as he goes. He's like Robin Williams, the late comedian. People think Robin Williams didn't prepare his craft because he was so funny. Robin Williams knew what he was doing before he went on stage. He made you think he didn't practice. He made you think it was ad-libbed. Brett Favre played the way he played. You thought, Brett Favre, there's no system. 7 years with Mike Holmgren. 3 MVPs, 2 Super Bowls, won twice as many playoff games as he lost. Yeah, the years without him, bumkus, nothing. So is Jared Goff part of a system? Yes. Game manager is code for limited. System quarterback is necessary to win a Super Bowl. And for the record, you know who's having a sneaky good season this year? Cam Newton. Cam Newton's having a sneaky good season. 5-to-1 TD to pick ratio. His completion percentage is very un-Cam Newton-like. It's 67%. Well, why would that be? Why in the world would that be? Oh, he's got a new coach, Norv Turner. What is Norv Turner known for? Having a system. Yes, Jared Goff's in a system. It's the only way he's got a chance to win a Super Bowl. Find me the great quarterback with trophies, Super Bowl trophies, that didn't play in a system. In fact, it's one of my knocks on Aaron Rodgers. I wish he was a little more system and a little less improvisational. I really do. I wish Aaron was a little less ad-libby and a little more system. I want to shift to the Lakers and Lonzo. It's very interesting. So LeBron had his first press conference 2 days ago, his first practice yesterday. And this is kind of odd, but you know with organs, Joy, your body will either accept or reject a new organ. Like if you have a kidney transplant, even if you have the same blood type, you put it in your body, and it will your body will accept it, a new liver, it will reject it, and you don't know till you put it in your body. And that's just the way it works with new organs. If you had, heart failure, kidney failure, liver failure, does your body accept it or reject it? And you can have the same blood type. Sometimes your body rejects it. So I think, and I was thinking about that with LeBron and the Lakers. Here's my question. Does LeBron reject or accept Lonzo? And I don't care about all the quotes because they're going to like each other because Lonzo's a smart player. But LeBron has been talking about Rondo and Rondo and Rondo and Rondo. We may have a soundbite. A couple of days ago, he was talking about Rondo. I've never heard LeBron talk about another player like this, Rajon Rondo. Here it is.
He's always been one of the most cerebral players, smartest players that I've ever competed against, and one of the most competitive guys I've ever competed against. He knows everything that's going on the floor. He knows everything that you're doing. He knows everything the team is doing. He knows all the strengths and the weaknesses. And sometimes you kind of see yourself, when you see yourself in someone on the opposing side, that's where you think someday it would be crazy if you ever teamed up. It's not many of us in this league that can actually think and prepare with our minds before we even step onto the floor and actually play the game like the two of us.
Now that's LeBron talking about the Lakers' backup, who's going to start the system starting because of Lonzo's injury. I'm telling you, I don't know how. The most fascinating part of the Lakers isn't are they going to be good or not. They're going to be fine. They got LeBron. They won 35 games last year, and Lonzo and Ingram couldn't stay healthy. They're going to win 45 games, right? Minimum. They're going to be fine. The question is, accept or reject. Like, Lonzo Ball has to have the ball to work. He's not a spot-up shooter. LeBron demands the ball. I'm not sure if it works. And then I hear LeBron talk about Rondo like that.
Well, LeBron is coming off of quite dramatic ending to the finals with a mental lapse
I know, but it's
J.R. Smith. They're like,
I've never heard.
He's kind of I think he's going on the extreme other end.
I've never heard LeBron talk about a teammate like that.
No, he's doting on Rondo
for
sure.
He's way into it.
LeBron likes the savvy veterans though,
and defenders.
Right. So, but I do think that he's also realizing that there has to be a good, healthy mix of youth and savvy veterans.
I can't wait to watch Lonzo, LeBron. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work. Lonzo's got to have the ball. If he's sitting around waiting for jumpers, Lonzo's game's done. Got to have the ball. And LeBron demands the ball. That's how he plays. Joel Klatt around the corner, a couple of huge college football games this weekend. You know, in sports, there's a smart way to play and a not-so-smart way to play. Okay, like making sure to get to practice on time is smart, and parking in the coach's spot, that's not really that smart. Same thing when you're hiring. A lot of job sites overwhelm you with a ton of resumes, and they're the wrong resumes. Not smart. But ZipRecruiter lets you find the right candidates for you. ZipRecruiter has powerful matching technology. They scan thousands of resumes. They identify people with the right skills, education, and experience for your job. Then they actively invite them to apply. That's why you not only get a candidate, but a qualified candidate fast. It's rated, ZipRecruiter is, the #1 by employers in the U.S. based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with at least 1,000 reviews. All right, it's the smartest way to hire. Powerful matching technology at ZipRecruiter, and right now my listeners can try it absolutely free. If you're looking for a smart way to find the right talent for your team, your business, go to ZipRecruiter.com/herd, ZipRecruiter.com/HERD today.